Right, first things first, congratulations to Jezelpops for working out my little Morse code puzzle. You win absolutely nothing. Now, after one of my previous vids, a few of you commented, and it has genuinely rocked my world. Apparently, rather than it just being my dad watching my channel with a VPN, a few of you are actually female. Yeah, I hear you, Diamond Drops, my wonderful muse, Pollen, Nicole, D7M, 6F6, and my very own guardian angel, Nat. Well, I apologise for lumping you in with us ragamuffin men. This is a dedication to you guys. That's right, rather than focusing on why Aerith is perfect for Cloud through the male lens, we're flipping it around. Why Cloud is perfect for Aerith, as suggested by the lovely Veronika. Now, given that I am a middle-class, privileged, positively ancient English white man holding a terrible record with women, especially the ones I don't pay, you may think I'm the last person to be telling the fairer sex what is best for them. And you would be absolutely right. Anyway, if you're quite new to Final Fantasy VII and all you've ever played is Crisis Core, you might believe that the only true contender for Aerith's heart is Zack Fair. Or if you've been on the artist formerly known as Twitter, maybe it's Sephiroth, or Seng, or maybe even Hojo, or basically anyone other than the person Tifa fans are vociferously trying to keep for themselves. Because today, I want to make the case that Cloud Strife is, without question, the perfect guy for Aerith Gainsborough. And no, not just because he's gorgeous.
I am not gay.
Though that certainly doesn't hurt. I want to show you that Cloud is the perfect guy at the perfect time for our favourite flower seller. Before we dive into Cloud's many virtues, we need to talk about Zack, because Aerith and Zack happened, especially for those who skipped the OG and went straight to Crisis Core.
Bus wankers!
And yes, I know that sounds like focusing on the mouldy, stale wafer rather than the delicious ice cream, but people are strange creatures. Kinda explains why Michael Bay got to make films for so long, or that having a foot fetish is a thing nowadays. Zack and Aerith are sweet. It's nice to see a young version of Aerith finding her feet. Ooh, now I don't want to say feet. Why feet? They aren't even sexy. Have you guys ever seen warts or athlete's foot? Anyway, I'm getting distracted very easily. Zack and Aerith have that first love, bright eyes, pink ribbons energy, and that kind of nostalgia resonates, especially for folks who believe their first romance is their one true love. Something I personally can't agree with ever since Alicia Silverstone stopped answering my letters. Bitch. I didn't mean that, Alicia. We can move past Batman and Robin. I still love you, call me! Where was I? Oh, Zack and Aerith. Yes. The writing can be blander than eating snow, but some people like their romances to be harmless, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's a massive, overwhelming issue, and it's not that Zack is dead. They've reached the limits of their relationship. Zack is the boy Aerith liked before things got a bit wibbly-wobbly, before the weapons, before the apocalypse, before her fate became apparent. He represents innocence. He represents young love, but he also represents simplicity and at times not a huge amount of substance. Aerith and Zack were happy, but it was never meant to last. Between Crisis Core and OG, and particularly in Re-Trilogy, Aerith became a much more complex, multifaceted person. She became a leader, the beating heart of the group, the centre of positivity. That dynamic simply wouldn't work with Zack anymore, because he too is an upbeat leader, full of energy, charm, and optimism. Who's a good boy? You're going to roll your eyes now, but it's no shock they share the same blood type, C. And yes, that's a thing, look it up. Previously, Zack dragged Aerith out of her shell, and that was their dynamic. But Aerith has grown past that. Now she's ready to coax someone else out of their shell. It's fine to like Xerath's relationship and think fondly of it, but it's like holding a pressed flower between the pages of a book. Very shallow. Sorry, I mean beautiful, but ultimately not destined for growth. That's not what Aerith needs anymore. She doesn't need a memory. She needs a partner who fits the woman she's become, not the girl she was. And that's where Cloud Strife walks in, like a slightly confused, brooding, toned, sweaty... Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
I am not gay.
Cloud is the perfect guy for Aerith, not just because he's her opposite, but because he balances her. Where Zack was sunshine, Cloud is rain. And excuse the tortured metaphor, but rain helps flowers to grow. I can't believe I wrote that. Aerith spends so much of her life putting on a brave face, deflecting with jokes and teasing smiles. She's everyone's comfort, cheerful, resilient, and always on. But Cloud, with his quiet awkwardness and underrated listening skills, gives her something new: space. He's the first person who doesn't expect her to be endlessly cheerful. He doesn't treat her like a commodity or a mysterious ancient or a bit of fluff between missions. Ooh, controversial. He just treats her like Aerith. Cloud doesn't chase her upbeat sparkle, he listens through her silences. When she's nervous, he steadies her. When she teases, he smirks. When she flirts, he blushes. When she feels alien, he reminds her she's still human, still allowed to be soft, tired, vulnerable, and real. Zack is the chapter that shaped her. Cloud is the one that lets her write her own story. Aerith has carried the weight of the planet's sorrow for so long. The last Cetra burdened with visions and destiny. Cloud doesn't worship that part of her. He doesn't see her as a goddess or a savior. He sees her as a woman with soil under her fingernails and laughter that catches in her throat. He doesn't ask her to save the world alone. He stands beside her, sword in hand, ready to fight her demons as fiercely as he would fight his own. And let's be honest, Aerith can talk circles around anyone. She's witty, teasing, constantly poking, constantly testing. But here's the secret. Underneath that sparkle, she's scared of being misunderstood, of being too much, too weird, too different. Cloud is her perfect counterbalance. He listens, really listens. While Zack filled the space with charm and chatter, Cloud fills it with quiet understanding. He doesn't need to match her energy, he grounds it. Aerith doesn't need a comedian. She needs someone who takes her seriously without taking away her joy, and Cloud does that instinctively. It's also natural. And that's probably the biggest draw of Cloud. Together they are balance personified. Cloud is the yin to Aerith's yang. Without Aerith, Cloud becomes a storm that never ends. Without Cloud, Aerith becomes light that burns itself out. Cloud is physically strong but mentally damaged. Aerith is mentally solid but needs physical protection. Cloud offers grayscale tone to Aerith's pinks, reds, and yellows. Aerith lets Cloud soften. Cloud gives Aerith edge. She sees the man behind the mask, he sees the woman behind the smile. That's not nostalgia or headcanon. That's two people who are perfect for one another. And that's why Cloud Strife, brooding, awkward, gorgeous disaster that he is without question the best guy for Aerith Gainsborough.
I am not gay.